everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Easy English Talk. I'm Jason, your host, and with my co-host, Sarah. How's it going, Sarah?
Hi, Jason. Hi, everyone. I'm doing great, thanks. I'm excited to be here today to talk about a really popular topic, especially for those who are just starting their English speaking journey.
Absolutely. So, today's topic is all about improving English speaking skills. We know it can be a bit challenging, especially in the beginning. You might feel nervous, unsure, or even frustrated when trying to speak English. But don't worry. Learning to speak a new language takes time, and we're here to help you with that.
Yes, and speaking English is such an important skill. It opens up so many opportunities, from connecting with new people to exploring different cultures and even improving career prospects. But, Jason, we both know it's not always easy for beginners, right?
Exactly, Sarah. Sometimes learners feel like they need to be perfect right from the start. But that's not the case at all. Learning to speak English fluently is a journey, and every step you take brings you closer to your goal. Today, we'll share some really simple yet effective tips to help you build your confidence and improve your English speaking skills.
And remember, we're focusing on beginners today. So if you've been struggling with speaking English or feel a bit shy, this episode is for you. We'll be giving you practical tips, real examples, and easy techniques that you can start using today.
Exactly. And we're going to keep it relaxed, friendly, and most importantly, simple. There's no need to be perfect. Just focus on making progress. Think of it as a fun learning experience. So, whether you're practicing English at school, with friends, or even on your own, we want to help make that process easier.
So grab a pen and paper if you want to take notes or just sit back and listen. We're going to cover everything from daily speaking tips to some cool ways to practice pronunciation. By the end of this episode, you'll have a list of easy actions to help you on your journey to speaking English fluently.
All right. Let's get started with our first tip. And remember, keep an open mind, stay patient, and most importantly, have fun with it. Let's make learning English a positive experience together.
Perfect, Jason. Let's dive in and help our listeners take their first big steps towards speaking English confidently.
So, before we jump into the tips, let's talk a bit about the challenges of speaking English as a beginner. Sarah, I know a lot of people feel nervous when they first start speaking English. Why do you think that is?
That's a great question, Jason. I think one big reason is fear of making mistakes. When people are learning a new language, they often worry about sounding silly or being judged, so they hold back. They might feel like their grammar isn't perfect or their pronunciation isn't clear.
Right. And that's totally normal. In fact, most of us feel that way when learning any new skill. It's like when you're learning to ride a bike. You're scared of falling, but once you start practicing, it gets easier and more fun. Speaking English is really similar.
Exactly. And another challenge is that people sometimes feel they need to know a lot of words before they can speak. But here's the good news. You don't need a huge vocabulary to start speaking. You just need a few basic phrases and a willingness to try.
Yes, and we want to remind everyone listening that it's okay to start small. You don't have to be fluent from day one. Even native speakers make mistakes. What's most important is getting comfortable with speaking, even if it's just a few words at a time.
That's such good advice, Jason. So, if you're listening and you've been hesitant to speak English because of these reasons, know that you're not alone. Everyone feels this way at first, but with a little practice and a positive attitude, you'll improve.
Absolutely. Today's tips will focus on building confidence and taking small steps. So, let's get started and make speaking English feel natural and enjoyable. All right, let's dive into our first tip. Practice speaking regularly. Sarah, why is this so important for beginners?
Great question, Jason. Speaking a new language, like English, is a lot like building muscle. You have to exercise it regularly to see improvement. The more you speak, the more natural it starts to feel. And don't worry, you don't need a conversation partner every time. Even practicing on your own can help a lot.
Exactly. So, if you're listening and wondering where to start, try speaking out loud every day, even if it's just for a few minutes. You could talk about your day, describe what you see around you, or even practice introducing yourself in English.
Yes, and one fun way to practice on your own is by talking in front of a mirror. Look at yourself while you speak. It helps build confidence and gives you a chance to work on your expressions. It might feel a little strange at first, but it's a great way to get used to hearing your own voice in English.
Good point, Sarah. And if you're feeling brave, try recording yourself. This might sound a bit intimidating, but recording lets you hear how you sound and see where you might want to improve. Plus, you can track your progress over time, which is really motivating.
Absolutely. And remember, there's no need to aim for perfection. Just focus on making small improvements. Even if you're only able to practice a few words or sentences each day, that's a big step in the right direction.
Exactly, Sarah. So, for everyone listening, the takeaway here is to make speaking a daily habit. Start small, be consistent, and most importantly, have fun with it. The more you speak, the easier it will become. All right, moving on to our next tip. Focus on pronunciation and clarity. Sarah, why do you think pronunciation is so important for beginners?
Good question, Jason. Pronunciation is important because it helps people understand you more easily. You don't need a perfect accent, but clear pronunciation makes your English sound natural and helps avoid misunderstandings.
Exactly. So, if you're listening and worried about your accent, don't be. What matters most is that you're speaking clearly. One great way to practice this is to slow down when you talk. Take your time and focus on each word. It's better to speak slowly and clearly than too fast.
That's so true, Jason. And here's a simple exercise. Choose a few common words you use every day and practice saying them slowly. You can even look up their pronunciation online or in a dictionary. Listening to the sounds can really help.
Good idea, Sarah. Another tip is to work on difficult sounds. For example, in English, some people struggle with the teeth sound. Try practicing it slowly and repeating it until it feels comfortable. You don't have to get it perfect, just close enough that people can understand you.
Yes, and remember, Jason, it's okay to ask people if they understood you. Practicing with a friend or a language partner helps you get feedback and feel more confident.
Absolutely. So, to everyone listening, focus on clarity over speed and work on one sound at a time. Little by little, you'll see improvement in your pronunciation and your overall confidence. All right, next up is learning useful phrases and vocabulary. Sarah, why do you think focusing on phrases is helpful for beginners?
Great question, Jason. Learning full phrases instead of just individual words makes it easier to start conversations right away. When you know a few basic phrases, you're already prepared for real-life situations, like saying hello, introducing yourself, or asking for help.
Exactly, Sarah. For example, you can start with phrases like, "How are you?" or "Could you help me?" These are simple, but powerful. They give you confidence because they're commonly used in everyday conversations. You don't need a huge vocabulary to communicate well.
That's right, Jason. And another tip is to learn phrases that are connected to your daily routine. If you're a student, you might want phrases like, "I'm studying for an exam," or "Can you explain this to me?" These are practical and easy to remember because you'll actually use them.
Good point, Sarah. Also, using simple vocabulary with these phrases can help you build more complex sentences later. Start with the basics, and once you're comfortable, you can add more words to your sentences. It's all about taking small steps.
Yes, so for anyone listening, focus on useful phrases that fit your life. The more you practice these, the more natural they'll feel. And soon you'll be able to expand your vocabulary without feeling overwhelmed.
Absolutely. And remember, you don't need to know every word in English to speak it well. Just a few phrases can go a long way. All right, let's move on to our next tip. Practicing with friends or language partners. Sarah, how can practicing with others help beginners improve their English?
That's a great question, Jason. Practicing with a friend or partner is one of the best ways to learn because it makes speaking more natural. You're not just repeating words or memorizing grammar, you're having real conversations. And that's how language is meant to be used.
Exactly, Sarah. And the great thing is, you don't need a native English speaker to practice with. You can even practice with friends who are also learning. The idea is to get comfortable using English in everyday situations, like sharing stories or talking about your day.
Yes, plus practicing with others gives you feedback. For example, if you mispronounce a word, your partner can correct you. Or you can help each other remember vocabulary. It's a team effort, and it makes learning more enjoyable and less stressful.
I completely agree. And for anyone who doesn't have a practice partner, don't worry. There are online language exchange apps where you can find people who want to practice English too. It's a great way to make friends and improve your skills at the same time.
That's right. So, to everyone listening, find someone to practice with. Whether it's a friend, a classmate, or even an online partner, you'll see big improvements in your speaking confidence and fluency.
Absolutely. Language is all about communication, so practicing with others makes the experience real and rewarding. All right, our final tip is a fun one. Using media to improve your listening and speaking. Sarah, how can watching shows, listening to podcasts, or even music help beginners with English?
Great question, Jason. Media like movies, songs, and podcasts give you a natural, real-life way to experience English. You get to hear how native speakers use words, phrases, and expressions, and that can really help you with both listening and speaking.
Exactly. Plus, it makes learning more enjoyable. Watching your favorite TV show or listening to a song you love keeps you motivated. You can try repeating what you hear, even if it's just one line or phrase. It's a great way to practice pronunciation and get comfortable with how English sounds.
Yes, and for beginners, I'd suggest starting with content that has subtitles. This way, you can read along while listening, which helps you understand the words and phrases better. Try watching short videos or listening to beginner-friendly podcasts, something that doesn't feel overwhelming.
Good idea, Sarah. Another fun exercise is singing along to songs. It's a simple way to practice pronunciation, rhythm, and even new vocabulary. And don't worry if you don't get every word right. It's all about enjoying the process.
Exactly. So, for everyone listening, explore English media that you enjoy. It's a fun way to improve, and it makes learning feel less like a chore.
That's right. Using media is a great way to bring English into your daily life. Just pick something you like and let it become part of your learning journey. All right, we've covered a lot of tips today. Let's go over a quick summary so you can remember these key takeaways for improving your English speaking.
Great idea, Jason. So first, we talked about practicing speaking regularly. Remember, it doesn't matter if you're alone or with someone. Just make it a daily habit, even if you're only talking to yourself in the mirror.
Exactly. Then we discussed focusing on pronunciation and clarity. Start by speaking slowly and working on sounds that are tricky for you. Clear communication is more important than speaking fast or having a perfect accent.
Right. After that, we mentioned learning useful phrases and vocabulary. Stick to phrases that are practical and relevant to your daily life. This helps you start speaking naturally and confidently.
And don't forget to practice with friends or language partners. Practicing with others builds your confidence and lets you get feedback, which helps you improve even faster.
Lastly, use media like TV shows, songs, or podcasts to improve your listening and speaking. It's a fun way to get used to how English sounds, and it lets you practice at your own pace.
Exactly. So, for everyone listening, pick one or two of these tips to start with, and remember to be patient with yourself. Learning to speak English takes time, but every small step you take is progress.
Absolutely. Just enjoy the journey, keep practicing, and you'll get there.
Thanks for listening, everyone. We hope you found these tips helpful